Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be watching and reacting to a Lao Y86 video. This one on why you should be terrified by what China just did. And what did China just do? They built one of the largest military facilities, headquarter facilities in the entire world. It's like 5 or 6 times bigger than the Pentagon of the USA, I think. I don't know the exact size to detail, but I'm sure in this video we'll learn a little bit more on this subject. So yes, right here, as we can see, Level 86, you should be terrified. This got very serious very fast. Copyright disclaimer, fair use. And then China builds huge wartime military command center in Beijing. Complex with bigger than Pentagon and includes bomb-proof bunkers for leaders, says U.S. officials. Ooh. Ahead of forces centenary in 2027. Okay. Well, again, link to this video will be in the description down below. I really enjoy Lao Y86. I highly recommend his channel. Let's get into it, yeah?
China's making a war command city the size of 10 pentagons.
10 pentagons. A whole city. Oh yeah, I mean, we can look here. Like, is this the road right here?
It'll control nukes, and it basically puts a giant target on the USA's back.
Not just the USA. I think this is in preparation for a potential full-on China versus everyone type of scenario.
Well, guys, I guess China is really
Wow.
serious about...
When did he... Sorry to pause this for a second. When did he get this background? Interesting.
Taking us out now. You guys have been absolutely vocal about wanting me to analyze this massive military city. Yes, a freaking
4 kilometers
city that China is making to basically have military superiority the world over. Quote, if confirmed, this new advanced underground command bunker for the military leadership, including President Xi, as the chairman of the Central Military Commission, signals Beijing's intent to build not only a world-class conventional force, but also an advanced nuclear warfighting capability, said Dennis Wilder, the former head of the China analysis for the CIA. Nearly 10 times bigger than the Pentagon, it's fitting for Xi Jinping's ambitions to surpass the US. This fortress only serves one purpose, which is to act as a doomsday bunker for China's increasingly sophisticated and capable military.
I mean, yeah, I mean, this is like something that they would do for preparation for them being up against the whole world. Again, I'll say it every time. I mean, it's clear. This is what's happening, right?
Guys, I mean, it's China. This is an evil-ass government who tells the world that it wants peace, and then it gets its sycophants to spread this message that it's some global arbitrator of peace and it just wants global cooperation and friendship everywhere. But meanwhile,
all that Chinese
it's
propaganda,
the biggest military command center in the entire world, and wants to use it to literally take over the entire world. This station is for an overt invasion. This is to combat the USA in the future. This is for future war. The problem is people see the military parades, they see this giant, huge, massive command station, they see the big nuclear silos, they see millions of soldiers in China ready to head in battle. And I mean, China's got Taiwan encircled, they're cornering the Philippines, I mean, they freaking sailed warships near Australia. But the thing is, people can only sit around and wonder what will happen, what will be the response when the day comes that China actually invades or attacks or engages the US in warfare. But here's my problem with this. This planning, all these plans, give China an out. It gives China an excuse. They get to go through with all these plans and plan for the future, plan for future invasion, plan for future attack. The US cannot retaliate because you can't retaliate against preparations. You can't retaliate or fight back against...
Well, of course not. Like, that would be even, I would say, just as evil.
Plans. China's going full doomsday prepper and making a military command city the size of 1,000 football fields, and people flip out and feel hopeless because there's no way that we in the West or in America or our allies in Asia could ever potentially catch up with China in this case. We simply have to wait it out and see what China's gonna do, and we can't do anything to fight back. because China hasn't actively attacked anything yet. This is the narrative going around. But, bro,
Well,
I'm sorry to tell you, that ship has already sailed. China already did the thing. They already attacked. If you want to read one of the scariest books you could ever read, do yourself a disservice and read Unrestricted Warfare by Qiao Liang and Wang Xiangsui.
Unrestricted Warfare, Qiao Liang. China's master plan to destroy America. What? 2021? Huh? Okay. History rated now, this 2017 version. China's master plan to destroy America.
2 Chinese People's Liberation Army colonels, they wrote a book, and it's not good. In 1999, in this book, they argued that modern warfare should go beyond traditional military battlefields to include political, economic, technological, psychological, societal, and cultural domains.
I mean, this is everything that China pushes via their propaganda. Big time. So they've already started dealing this out.
They talk about attacking all the stuff that you don't even think about. 26 years ago, they wrote this book as a way to persuade the CCP to be something truly insidious. And guess what? It worked. Wait till you see which of their predictions came true. First, they talk about cyber warfare and espionage. Did China do any of that?
Yes.
Well, how about the OPM hack in...
I was going to say, I think there was it was recently discovered that a lot of electronical equipment has backdoors into these Chinese manufacturers. So, like even the recent power outage in Spain is attributed to these Chinese backdoors, shutting it off essentially.
2015, Chinese hackers stole sensitive personal data on over 22 million Americans from the Office of Personnel Management, including SF-86 security clearance files.
Wow.
But the Cloud Hopper operation, where Chinese state-sponsored hackers infiltrated cloud service providers like IBM and Hewlett-Packard to steal client data globally, including from U.S. firms. How about Salt Typhoon? In late 2024, the Chinese state-sponsored group known as Salt Typhoon infiltrated major U.S. telecommunications providers, including Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. The attackers accessed core network components, obtaining metadata of users' calls and text messages, and in some cases, audio recordings. How about in December 2024, when Chinese state-backed hackers breached the U.S. Treasury Department workstations, the actual U.S. government? How about Volt Typhoon? Another Chinese state-sponsored hacking group was implicated in cyber campaigns targeting U.S. critical infrastructure and telecommunications. We're talking water, electricity, the grid, all that and more. How about the hacker for hire operations? In March 2024, the U.S. Department of Justice indicted 7 China-based nationals for their involvement in a PRC-backed criminal hacking group. This group targeted U.S.-based critics, businesses, and political officials with malicious cyber operations intended to intimidate and silence dissidents and steal from their businesses.
This is all quite shocking. I knew of some of these, but not every single one. And there's probably even more that he can't even list. It would take forever.
This group has been active for 14 years. China's also been exploiting vulnerabilities in software. Like, for example, in early 2025, multiple state-backed hacking groups from China, along with others from North Korea, Iran, and Russia, exploited new Windows vulnerabilities and used it for data theft and cyber espionage, zero-day attacks. How about when they attacked our healthcare sector? Remember in mid-2024, ransomware actors attacked the largest payment processor for U.S. healthcare transactions, hampering prescriptions, causing extended delays in accessing electronic health records, patient communications, and medication ordering systems. How about manipulating the economy as they predicted in this book?
This is
Well,
what China
has
does. China is definitely 100% manipulates the economy.
historically been accused of devaluing the RMB, the yuan, their currency, to make its exports cheaper, affecting U.S. trade competitiveness.
Yep.
How about the control of rare earths? China controls around 80% of global rare earth exports, which
they got these rare earth exports via loan trapping, essentially, from all these African countries as well.
Are necessary for U.S. defense and tech. Beijing has repeatedly used this as a geostrategic pressure tool, including recently during the U.S. and China trade disputes. How about intellectual property theft? Well, U.S. officials...
This is very important as well, intellectual property theft. They do this all over the world, and recently the U.S. is actually banning some more Chinese citizens from becoming like students in the U.S. as well, in colleges and whatnot.
Officials estimate that China has stolen hundreds of billions of dollars per year.
Yeah, this is wild. But again, this is where China gets all their stuff as well. All their technology, all their technological advancements and whatnot. And it's because of this intellectual property theft. It's plain and simple. And that's how they're also able to sell these products that they're able to create via this intellectual property for so cheap. They sell it because they don't have to pay for the research and development, the R&D of the whole process.
Through corporate espionage, especially targeting defense, tech, and biotech industries. That's trillions of dollars overall. How about our beloved academic and scientific research facilities? Well, those have been infiltrated too. The 1,000 Talents Program, a CCP recruitment campaign, offers grants to foreign scientists, including Americans, to transfer research and intellectual property to China, usually telling them not to disclose ties. Not only that, as of 2017, China requires Chinese people, no matter where they are in the world, to report any and all information to the CCP. This includes Chinese students abroad. U.S. prosecutors and researchers at Harvard and the Cleveland Clinic and elsewhere have also exposed covert collaborations with Chinese institutions. How about PSYOPs, psychological operations, information warfare? For goodness sakes, TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok is one thing. The algorithm pushes whatever narrative that the CCP wants to these people, and it's pretty clear because there's been a growing hatred for via TikTok, via like the younger audience, for, I don't know, political unrest in the USA in particular, but all throughout the world as well, wherever TikTok isn't banned. It's frustrating that it's not banned because it's just so clear. But what can we do?
In a rare case of bipartisanship, Democrats and Republicans both agreed to ban TikTok. We voted on it, right, guys? As Americans, we voted on this. We voted our leaders into power, and we agreed that TikTok should be banned. Still waiting on that one. Why would TikTok need to be banned? It's quite literally a psychological operation in the pockets of hundreds of millions of Americans. TikTok has an algorithm that promotes CCP ideals and could potentially be used in a conflict situation to send out disinformation, misinformation, and manipulate the opinion of Americans during a wartime scenario.
100%.
Real bad. How about straight up propaganda? Especially on US social media, Chinese state-linked accounts have run covert influence campaigns on Facebook, X, YouTube, all of them really, to sway opinion or sow division on sensitive US issues like race, COVID-19, elections. In fact, they spend billions of dollars to do this. And that's why you have Chinese propaganda all over your feed. It's why all of a sudden you see non-Chinese people doing tourism through Xinjiang, where China is committing genocide, and telling you that Chongqing is the city of the future and the US is all behind.
It's so frustrating. It really is. And it's so ingrained, and yet it feels like the government, the people in power, at least in my country, just don't care.
It's all tied together. You want to talk about unrestricted warfare? How about the fentanyl crisis? China's been the main
fentanyl is made and produced in China. So, yeah.
source of fentanyl precursors used by criminals to get this drug into the US. This synthetic opioid crisis has killed hundreds of thousands of Americans. Some US officials have even called it a form of asymmetric warfare, intentional or not. How about biological and health sector ambiguities? How about the COVID-19 origins debate? While COVID was probably not deliberately an act of warfare, the CCP's response certainly was. Early suppression of outbreak information, silencing of doctors, allowing Chinese citizens to travel abroad while locking them down in China, and crafting misinformation campaigns, this has all been seen as a case study in information warfare during a global crisis. They got the WHO to tell the world that COVID wasn't even contagious, for goodness sakes. Tell me that's not the greatest blueprint for disinformation you've ever heard of. How about medical supply leverage?
That's crazy. There was so much misinformation early on about that, and I remember seeing a lot of videos out of China before COVID was really even known anywhere else about this mysterious, illness, disease going throughout, and I mean it's shocking. And then the information that China has released about like their COVID like numbers. 100% false. 100% false.
In 2020, China mobilized patriotic citizens to go to foreign countries like the USA and hoard PPE and medical supplies during the pandemic to gain strategic advantage over the rest of the world. Purely sick, twisted, and evil tactics, if you ask me. How about maritime and infrastructure penetration? Port investments. Chinese companies have acquired stakes in over a dozen ports globally, including strategic Western locations.
Not even just that, they're all over the place. All over the place. Pakistan in particular. And you know what, Pakistan, we go back again. You know what? Maybe a lot of this this misinformation via, the recent Operation Sindoor in Pakistan and all that, maybe this is all stemming from China as well, because China has a big stake in Pakistan. They're trying to build that that highway to the ocean, and then the port over there as well. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense with how much they have their fingers into everything, right?
Critics worry about dual-use capabilities. We're talking commercial and military. In fact, a lot of countries are going to lose their ports to the BRI initiative, where China will say, we built some of your infrastructure. Now you got to give us a port because you can't afford to pay us back.
Loan trapping. It's loan trapping.
How about Huawei's 5G infrastructure? The US and its allies have flagged Huawei as a national security threat due to its potential use for CCP surveillance through telecoms infrastructure. For goodness sakes, look at the frickin' satellites that they just found with those rogue radio communications devices in them.
Yeah.
We're kind of screwed if we don't get away from China here. The be-all and end-all is that China's already invaded, and we've done little publicly to do anything about it. It's time to get serious about this, or it's game over. So when people ask you, what will happen when we go to war with China? Guys, we're already at war. It's just that this war doesn't look like the one that your grandpa fought in. If you guys like this episode, you're going to want to go check out The China Show.
I mean, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. Check out The China Show. It's a good podcast. I really enjoyed The China Show. I don't remember if this song is copyright or not, so I'm not gonna let it play. But yeah, he's 100% correct. It's a cyber warfare. It's a psychological warfare. I mean, that's been the case for a long time now. And I mean, all we can do is point it out and hope that our governmental officials can see it, which I'm sure some of them do. But then why aren't they stopping it? At least here in my country, why aren't they stopping it? Like in India, they've banned and blocked TikTok, which is good. I don't know, man. Maybe we're gonna all have to learn how to speak Mandarin in the future. I don't know. Having a massive building full of military bureaucrats doesn't mean you have a great military. It just means you have a lot of bureaucrats. Let's all further help the Chinese out by reducing any made in Chinese purchases whenever humanly possible. I go out of my way to try to not buy made in China products. Building one giant military command center instead of thousands of smaller ones just means that it can be defeated with one bomb instead of thousands. I've successfully gotten you and separate ZA bank in my algorithm. That's good. As a U.S. Navy veteran, China don't want none of what we can bring. They are a paper tiger. Fixed fortifications are a monument to man's stupidity. General George Patton. China just builds massive structures to be able to say, look, Ma, look what I did. Then it falls down. And they'll do this while telling the U.S. not to build the Golden Dome to protect itself. True. They did tell the U.S. not to build the Golden Dome. If you believe that China wants peace just because they said so. You know someone is scared when they make such preparations. Why worry? They will build it like they do everything in sandcastles. Well, I don't know. I think for something like this, they probably would actually build it correctly, not like not like how they build other things. It's really frustrating how a lot of Americans don't realize they constantly had a target on their back due to the history and global position. They're just too busy chasing their own damn tail. Chinese agents gained access to the emails of the CEO and entire executive team of Nortel Networks back in the early 2000s. Nortel was one of the largest telecommunication companies in the world at the time, with about 100,000 employees. They had access to those email accounts and likely other parts of the internal system for at least 8 years before it was discovered. They had the specs for every product, all the upcoming research. They even got the sales presentations that were going to be used to win big deals. Coincidentally, Huawei went from nothing to global leader during that time. They seemed to know exactly what Nortel would be bidding and would bid at a little lower and sell products that were exact replicas of Nortel products. Nortel went bankrupt in 2009. Yeah, yeah. I mean, we know that's what China does. The CCP should know that there ain't a single American scared of the CCP. 10,000 more Pentagon means 10 times more bureaucracy. 10x, not 10,000. Remember, guys, this fortress is a tofu drug building. I doubt it. I doubt something like this would be. I don't think Chinese military would build badly made nuclear bunkers for its leaders. These leaders aren't normal citizens, so I would guess they would actually be good buildings. Yeah, they're not normal citizens. Xi Jinping would demand and force them to build an actual good building. It's like when Germany got ready for World War II and no one did anything. True. There are already millions of Chinese here for just the purpose, and in Canada and Mexico. Canada's a lost cause. Canada's a lost cause. With the way they build buildings and roads, should we really? Yeah, yes. You guys, the military will actually ensure that this building is built properly, unlike their other things. I don't know what China will do in the future, but building something like that doesn't seem too crazy for a country competing with USA for world hegemony. Having nuclear strike all right, I'm not going to read this guy. BS. They are space weapons. That create a shock wave ground tsunami boat. What the heck? They don't give an F. They are minding their own business. America needs to wake up. Ban TikTok now. Trump, what are you doing? We have a Chinese. What is this? His nose is high like a Jew, but he's not really Jewish. What a pity. Wow. Racism. Straight up racism. Crazy. By Matthew W. Weber. This is like a bot account. Crazy. Maybe they can make an inflatable one so they look cool. Sounds like posturing. Do you even make videos that aren't just war hawking about China? Yes, he does. Who fights the wars? Chinese army. Town in Michigan is called Hell. The people own a bit of Ohio. The government owns. We keep them home. What? Huh? Okay. Oh, please, America isn't scared of this. Yeah, this is zero food security in China. Priorities, true. All right. Okay. Okay. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Go check out the video, guys. The link will be in the description down below. We'll see how it goes. I'm sure this video will be banned or limited or restricted in some sense, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you on the next one, okay? Take care. Goodbye.